What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Chicken Bone Alley, brought to you by SRI Performance, Stock Car Steel and Aluminum, Earl Ramey Racing Engines, and ProFab Headers and Exhausts. What's going on? I'm David.
I'm Connor.
What's up, man?
A whole lot.
Another Monday?
Kind of a regular week for us this week.
Somewhat. I'm going to tell you what, we have made it to that point of the year where the heat comes on in the house at night and the air conditioner comes on during the day. You got to leave with a jacket on and come home with a T-shirt on.
Yeah. Some days last week, though, it was pretty cool.
It was cool.
The whole day.
Yeah, it was. And I kind of liked it. I was
so
tired of the heat.
Mm-hmm.
It was, we had a brutal summer this year, I felt like. I don't know, it just felt like it stayed hot for a long, long, long time. Maybe it's always like that. I don't know. I'm just getting older. I don't know. It feels like it's too hot, too long. Get tired of it. I don't know. How's school? You winding? It seems like you just started.
Yeah.
I was talking to somebody about this the other day. I'm like, man, y'all college kids seem like y'all just started. It's like first semester's almost over already.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't get as much breaks as like
right.
some of the universities do. But yeah, I haven't looked, but I mean it's probably a month and a half,
Yeah.
before they seem like college always gets off pretty early for Christmas and stuff. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
Fun.
Mm-hmm.
Fun. I know Landon and them just had one of their
They get their weeks off for.
Yeah, they just had it week before last. Yeah. And so they were back to school and they're in their second quarter already and time flies. I saw today Christmas be here in 65-ish days, something like that, I think it is.
The year's flown by.
Yeah. Time flies when you're having fun. But literally, we have pretty much 2 more races around here to round out the race season. Not NASCAR. I'm just talking about our local stuff. We got Dillon Motor Speedway next weekend, not this coming weekend, but next weekend. Then the 400 at Florence Motor Speedway, and that pretty much wraps it up around here for the year.
Right. We've had a good year.
We have. It's been a busy year, that's for sure. It is, man, I feel like we have, I don't know, I feel like I've done a lot, and I know you have with motors.
We've been at a racetrack about every week.
We have, for sure. For sure. And even the weekends that we ain't racing, we seem like we're at a racetrack.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. We one way or the other, we been in the racetrack a lot this year for sure.
We have. Well, speaking of some racing, though, there was a pile of champions crowned this weekend, I guess we can talk about. First of all, our guest from last week, Caden Honeycutt, we talked to him about going and, doing what he needed to do to lock up the Pro Late Model Championship, and he went in second place. He wasn't in leading, so he went in second place, and was able. He did exactly what he needed to do to win the championship and won the race. Not without some controversy. Well, I say controversy. It wasn't necessarily controversy on his side. It just attrition, I guess, and some. He had a fast car. Did you get to watch the? I
didn't watch the pros, but I saw where Tristan McKee got in that wreck.
Well, see, like 2 laps. Well, yeah, about 2 laps before the caution came out for that restart, Tristan had kind of went down into 3 and just kind of punted Caden out the way. I mean, he about hit the wall. He got up in the marbles, and he looked like his dirt track driving abilities came into play because that car was sideways, and he dropped him all the way back to 3rd, I want to say it was. Yeah, he dropped back to 3rd. And on the they got the choose cone, and Tristan chose outside. Caden Quapple chose the inside, and then Caden Honeycutt chose outside right behind Tristan. Well, all of a sudden, when they took the green flag, Cameron Boland So he was coming through apparently, and he got in somebody. He got into whose was it? I can't remember. But anyway, got in somebody's bumper, and it sent them straight up track into Tristan McKee, and they piled him up into turn one, and Caden Honeycutt barely got around it.
Slipped by, yeah.
Yeah. So that ended up, because they didn't make a lap, he was the first car that, it put him on the front row, and he set sail from there. So
good deal.
He took off. Well, I mean, it was close there because I'm trying to remember who it was. They got under him, but anyway, it was a good race, and so congratulations to him. It was well deserved. He fought hard for it this year, changing teams and getting whatever ride he could, knowing, pretty much betting on himself, I guess you say, more than anything. And he made it happen. And then did you watch any of the Smart
I saw a little bit of highlights.
modifieds?
Yeah.
Whew, God.
Heard it was a lot of cautions.
Dude,
Which is kind of unusual.
I put on
we've
face-
seen them race around here. They've, see a whole lot of that.
I put on Facebook, I said I didn't know which had more yellow flags, the Tennessee-Alabama game or that Smart Modified Tour. Man, it was rough. They were it was something else. They took out, I think they started with like 30 cars, ended up with 15.
Yeah, it's kind of how the
Took out half the
look
field.
like. Yeah.
Took out half the field in them. What's his name? Jake Baldwin.
Let's see, Luke Baldwin. Maybe?
Luke Baldwin.
Yeah.
Luke Baldwin. I don't know why I said Jake. Anyway, I'm sorry. Luke Baldwin took home the championship there. I don't know if I like the way they do their championship.
They're just kind of like
It's a one race deal. But that's been very controversial. Like I said, I asked Chris Williams to come on here and we'll talk about it. That was very controversial this year because it was supposed to be 3 cars, and all of a sudden they expanded it to 5 cars the last race, and I felt like they was going to put Jeff Gordon in it. Like Connor said last week. I don't know. It was so. Anyway, then they had the late model stock race there at North Wilkesboro. Pretty good race.
Yeah, I was kind of watching and thinking, when it gets repaved, it's kind of going to be so for a little while just because there's so much grip. It's hard to do much. But it looked like it was starting to come into its own there. Like the asphalt had kind of started wearing a little bit to where they can, race a little bit.
Yeah, it definitely did. Had a couple pretty big incidences in it, and kind of tore up some cars there. What's his name? Ryan
Millington or
Ryan Wilson.
who? The guy that's from there?
Wreck.
Oh,
Got in a wreck. Yeah, pretty sure it's Ryan Wilson. Ended up had a pretty bad concussion.
oh, really? I didn't know anybody had
Yeah,
gotten hurt.
yeah, it was.
That's the second.
him. Ryan Wilson. He got a. I was looking to see because they took him to the hospital after and never really heard anything else about it. And I happened to look on his wife's Facebook page, and she had put on there everything checked out good, but he had a pretty severe concussion. She said.
Which car was he?
I believe number 2 car.
I don't remember.
Um,
One of them spun
that's
around
what he
and
normally drives.
Okay. One of them spun around and hit the wall pretty hard. That's probably who it was there. That's weird. I mean, obviously, earlier this year they had the missed shift or whatever, caused a big pile up. I guess that was only about 2 months ago, but had 2 pretty big wrecks out there.
Yeah, for sure. I was going to say Connor Hall kind of said, because he had some damage early in the race, and he thought it was, I think it was Andrew Grady was in front of him.
He got trouble.
He thought,
go.
yeah, and he he thought Grady might have missed a shift.
Yeah.
And said he was behind him next restart and said car still didn't go. And then I think his car fell off and he went into pits. I want to say it was. So anyway, so Connor Hall fought hard. But he came up short to our good buddy Brennan Butterbean Queen. Took home the championship there in the Cars Tour late model stock series. So congratulations to Butterbean. Oh God, I just had a brain fart. Who won the race?
Connor Jones.
Connor Jones, yeah. Yeah, Connor Jones, 2 weeks in a row. He came on late in the season, but a little bit too late.
Yeah. Had a pretty good battle for the lead there between him and Carson Quaffle and Minnie Tyrell.
Yep.
He kind of raced good for a while there.
Yeah, for sure. I thought it was, like we said again, Minnie Tyrell's been right there.
Mm-hmm.
And he's been like that all year. It's just couldn't seem to close one out. I feel like he's still on the verge. Yeah, I thought Carson was going to have it. He was running away with it there for a while, and old Connor Jones come on there at the end and kind of took off.
Yep,
from him. So I know Carson Quappel was really wanting to try to win it. You know, being possibly his last race. Well, I think he's going to run 400. I think so. Believe so. So I don't know. It was a good night of racing there for sure. So congratulations to all the champions there. What's up there, Bucky? He says, "What's up, guys?" So what's up to you? Dirt Track World Championship. Dirt Track. Yeah, that's it. Dirt Track World Championship. I always get that one and the one that Charlotte messed up. But anyway, at Eldora this past weekend, some good racing going on up there. Me and Sterling went up there when I was at Portsmouth a few years back. That's always fun. But I'm going to tell you what, it's cool enough here at night. In October in Ohio,
I bet
it's cold.
Yeah,
it's flat out cold. I don't know what the weather was up there. I know our buddy Kel Mabin was at the track. A couple hour ride for him, and I know he was there. And I saw a lot of people wearing jackets and hoodies, so it looked
sure it was cold.
Probably quite chilly. Bobby Pierce takes home the win there. Not surprising, but Jonathan Davenport was on the roll, took the lead, goes in turn one, blows motor. Like, man.
Dang.
So, thought he was going to have it, but you got to finish it to finish first. But RTJ, Ricky Thornton Jr., takes home the championship after his insane season over there with switching teams.
How's he been doing with his new team?
Great.
Yeah, I figured he was good enough to
Great.
make up for it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is that was a wild season for him. I want to get him on here. I mean, he's with Coltman Farms racing back there. He's one of their sponsor drivers, and I really want to get him on here, but dude is so busy racing everything. Every time I've talked to him, it's like, we'll be at this track tonight. We'll be at this track tonight. And I'm like, we'll have to catch him in the winter, when they have about a 2-week break. So maybe we'll get him on here pretty soon. But congratulations to all the champions, I guess. It was good seasons all around, though, I think, in pretty much all those divisions of racing, classes, series. Cars Tour, to me, seemed to kind of step it up this year. I mean, I know there was the controversy with tires, rules, all that stuff was normal. I mean, tires probably not so much normal.
Yeah, they were back on the ST this week, weren't they?
They were back on the STs because they didn't think the 45s could hold up to that kind of speed. And I don't disagree with that.
Yeah, and
I think I'd want something a little harder.
Yeah, that's pretty big load on them.
Yeah, and I still think that track, once it gets, I don't know, I think it's going to take probably 4, maybe 5 years even, get some age on that asphalt.
Yeah, maybe
to really put on a good show.
Like running all the modifies and everything like this week will definitely help it if they can do that a couple more times.
And maybe that's what it needs. And I know it's tough for a track like that to put on stuff, but if they could run just some,
couple weekly shows.
Yeah, a couple weekly shows, maybe once a month here,
Yeah, it's just tough. Everybody's stretched so thin.
And that place is
kind of out there,
anywhere. Yeah. It's not, I mean, that's a haul there. So, I just feel like it's going to put on good racing. And it, for what it is, it was good racing. It was, I mean, I wasn't mad at it, but it looked pretty hard to pass. But it did look easier to pass than
I
last
think it looked
time.
better, yeah. It still looked like somebody on the outside and just hang on you if they really wanted to, but yeah, you could see them slipping around a little bit.
Yeah, which is really good.
Mm-hmm.
I was glad to see that. And I'm wondering if this ST2 that they brought back to track, it kind of been, I don't know what, about 2.5, 3 months now, close to the when they got off of it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was kind of the said curing time actually needed for the tire that it wasn't getting.
I was saying, I mean, the early part of the season, I thought they put on pretty good racing with it. I think it just kind of got later part of the season where they just couldn't. They were too inconsistent with it.
Yeah, and you wonder if weather plays a factor in that. Early in the season, it was still a little cooler. The tracks.
I mean, they had several really good races on the ST.
What was it? Southern National, I think it was first of the year. Put on a fairly good race.
I remember just the first 5 or 6 weeks were just every week was like a, good finish.
Yep.
Something happened, but yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what they decide to do moving forward.
Yeah, for sure. I guess we will see what goes down with it going in 2025. Man, we can have somebody on here from the Cars Tour and talk with them and see what's going on over the winter when we got to fill some shows. Who knows? I'll go ahead and let y'all know. And it was mid-October, but we'll probably take off some here there in December and possibly a little in January, and then we'll get back going with it ourselves. But anyway, so we probably got a kind of short and sweet show today. I mean, I will say I went and we were just talking about it. I think y'all went and done some testing this past week.
Yeah, we took our other car out there that we've been working on, and we kind of thought we had a motor kind of messing up with it, so we kind of got that straight and wanted to see if it, kind of did what we thought it would. And it was solid. We always wanted a little more speed, but it was steady and it was consistent. We went out 3 or 4 times and it ran pretty close to the same lap time. The last couple laps as it did when we first unloaded, which is good. You want to make it faster, but oftentimes you end up losing speed. But it stayed consistent, and we're pretty pleased with it. So hopefully we'll have that one out here. First and second?
2 weeks. Well, not even 2 weeks now. The next coming weekend. Weekend after this one coming. Yeah.
Whatever it is.
Whatever it is.
Hopefully we can bring it out, because it was at the racetrack, but we got rained out. But other than that, it hasn't raced in I don't know, a couple years now. Matt
says he's hoping to break out his truck there Saturday and take it tested. I'll probably ride over there with him and check it out and see what we can make happen on it. That'll be good. Another big car out there.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody out the Legend again though.
Yeah,
we're dropping like flies on the Legends. But yeah, we took ours out there out of Dillon Motor Speedway this past Saturday. We got out there. We waited till about I don't know, it was probably 10:30 when we got out there, and waited about 11 o'clock or maybe a little after to get on track because it was cooler, and just we knew it was going to get warmer, so it was like just let the track warm up for a few minutes, and Not that because I was like, we probably go out there and be fast, and then all of a sudden we just slow down the rest of the day and really wonder why. And I was telling Connor this before the show. I said, tires are crazy sometimes. We kind of took the car and kept making adjustments, and it wasn't really seeming to make a huge dent in it. It was just kind of doing the same stuff. Well, all of a sudden we made an adjustment that should have just made it loose. I mean, we thought it should have made it or loosened the car up a lot. Mm-hmm. And I went out and it almost pushed straight to the wall. We
Not
come
the
in.
desired effect. Huh?
No, completely opposite. And it was just like something ain't right. And me and Chad started talking, and we were just like, maybe a tire just gave up. And we thought maybe the right front, because it just had a look to it, kind of that chafed look, just kind of.
Yeah, cheese crater.
Yeah. So I went and found a tire that measured pretty close, stuck it on the car, went out there and turned some of the best laps we had all day. So, it stinks because you got there kind of chasing, yeah. And then it's like, well, dang, do I need to go back on anything? Or so at that point, we had done ran, I don't know how many laps, and I was like, I don't think we got any more fuel, hardly. I need to go get some fuel. So we just decided to load up at that point, and the car was decent. So, I just hated to start changing too much more than we already had. So we'll be out there here in next weekend and try it out, see what we can do. And our buddy Chad Webster was out there with his, and he had just completely rebuilt the front end on his, and he got it faster and faster. But to hear him, he'll probably rebuild the front end again. Love it. So that's just how it goes. But anyway, speaking of rebuilding front ends, go right here to these guys and they'll hook you up.
Chicken Bone Alley is brought to you by SRI Performance. They are your one-stop shop for all things racing. Do you need performance parts? Look no further. They offer a wide range of high-performance parts for various types of racing, including stock car racing, dirt racing, and more. SRI Performance also has the most knowledgeable employees in the industry. If you're looking for that hard-to-find part, they've got it. And if you're wondering how to make it work on your car, they know it. Check them out online at www.sriperformance.com. And when you do, don't forget to use the promo code CBONE10. That's C as in chicken, BONE10, and get 10% off at checkout. Stock Car Steel and Aluminum is a full-line steel service center stocking thousands of sizes, shapes, grades, and types of metals and plastic. If you need it, they have it. And if not, they work fast to find what you need and get it to you. Stock Car Steel and Aluminum also has the ability to cut orders to your specifications as requested. Their dedicated team not only brings many years of experience to the table, but they are always ready and willing to lend a hand with anything you may need. Stock Car Steel and Aluminum. Your material needs are covered here.
All right. Also, ladies and gentlemen, go head over and check out our good friends over at Earl Ramey Racing Engines. I don't care what kind of application you're looking for. If you're looking for anything from a street stock up to a super late model, anything in between, guys, head over to our Earl Ramey Racing Engines. When you get all that, get that horsepower, get the time on the chassis dyno that he's got to make it even better, and find all the speed that you can. One of the things he's going to tell you to stick on there is a good set of Profab headers and exhaust, guys. Profab headers and exhaust, they are quality that wins. I know one car they were on Caden Honeycutt's car this past weekend for sure. So that just tells you they are quality that wins. So y'all go head over to Profab headers and get yourself hooked up. Go see our buddy Andy over there, and he'll hook you up, tell you what you need. I don't care what kind of application you got there either. They got whatever you need. So go check them out, Profab Headers and Exhaust. Kale Mabin, what's up, man? We're just talking about you if you didn't hear it. We just want to know, how cold was it sitting at Eldora this past week? He texted me, I put on Facebook, you might have seen it. I told him, I said, I need about a handful of TVs, or I said I need a few TVs and a couple Flow Racing accounts to keep up with all the racing tonight.
All the racing, all the football, everything.
Football, too. We'll get into that here in a minute. Because there was some games for sure. But, yeah, man, there was too much going on at one time. But he texted me, talking about, you can get in my Flow Racing. I'm at the track. I was like, I don't have enough TVs in front of me at the same time, so it don't matter. But I appreciate it. We were just talking about how cold it can be up there. Not too cold. He said it's not too cold at all. He was surprised. He definitely don't like cold weather. He says he wants our hot weather all the time. I'm like, I'll trade you.
The coldest one of the coldest I've been in a race, I know it might not be that hardcore, but Myrtle Beach 400 one time, sit up in the stands, and it was like the wind was blowing up from under it. I don't know. Yeah. That was a really cold race. I can't watch races in the cold. I can say that. I do, and it's not bad doing it, but watching the race in the cold is tough.
The worst as far as in the cold, when I raced go-karts back in the day, way back in the day, we were at Conway one night, and it was so cold. Connor'd love it up at Eldora. It's fun. That's a fun cool track. We need to get back up there. We have to make a trip out of it one year, and I want to go to the World. I've been to the Dream, and I want to go to the World now. So, anyway, the coldest I was at a track one night, I guess you say. We were at Conway, and it was so cold that if there was any downtime between racing, they had to have the Packer car out on the track to keep it from freezing over.
Yeah, I forgot. I have been to a cold go-kart race too at Paradise.
Yeah, and but I raced, and my hands got so cold that when I come in, I had to have somebody just pull my hands off the steering wheel because I couldn't feel them anymore from holding the steering wheel and just cold air just
I think it's too cold to race at that point.
It was too cold to race. It was ridiculous. I ended up finding, get this, these were the best ones I ever found for cold weather in go-karts. Somebody found me, Robert, what's up, man? Glad you called us, buddy. Somebody told me about him one time. And any of you go-kart racers, this is the ticket. I'm just letting y'all know. Maybe there's better gloves out there now, but somebody turned me to some scuba diving gloves. But they were for what they call a dry suit, not a wet suit. Wet suit, water can penetrate through. A dry suit, nothing penetrates through it. And I wore those gloves. Dude, my hands were comfortable.
Wow.
I put my regular driving gloves over the top of those. I was good. I was good to go then. They were still thin enough that
everything else might have been cold, but at least you could.
My hands
grip
were
the steering wheel.
I could grip the steering wheel. I was all right. The coldest I've been at a track though, there was. Let's see. I'm trying to remember. This is funny, and Sterling and Kayla can even attest to this. We went to. We went south from here and got colder. And it wasn't that cold. I don't know what it was. It was the 20, let's see, it had to be 20, I can't remember. It had to be 19 maybe. 2019, maybe. Went to the Super Bowl of dirt racing down at Golden Isle Speedway. And which is in Brunswick, Georgia, right at the Florida line. But dude, it had rained, and it's in February. Well, the thermometer said it was 50 degrees outside. but it was the coldest 50 degrees that
Sometimes
I've ever seen.
You just get cold and you just can't.
And everybody was like that. I mean, people had heaters up in the stands and people just gathered around them. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was just the humidity or what it was. It was just so cold out there.
I think the most recent cold race I've been to was probably the last New Year's Bash before I started driving in it. Is when they used to run it all the same day.
I think I was
and it
up
just
in Shaylane.
maybe so, and it just went into like midnight.
Yes.
And it was just like it was in the 30s.
It was freezing.
Yeah, we had to. I mean, there's very few times that we ever leave a track early if there's a race we wanted to watch a Charger race.
Yeah.
But it was. I mean, you can't. It's not enjoyable at that point. But that's probably the most recent cold race I've been to.
So y'all tell us with some cold weather coming on. Well, I mean, obviously not.
Yeah,
We're still
it was 80 degrees today.
Winter coming eventually. It just gets us out the mindset of being hot, I guess. What's the coldest race y'all ever been to? We went up to Portsmouth the first time we met Kel. Now I'm gonna tell you what, it got pretty cold up there that night. We the second night we were there, it got pretty chilly up there. And that was in 2020. So that was the first time to go anywhere in the world, you had to wear a mask. Even though we were outside at a racetrack,
Yeah.
they were standing there. I'll never forget because of COVID, all that junk. But they were standing at the pit gates. They had security guards there making sure you were wearing a mask. And I'm like, this is stupid.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how many I know you've been to some dirt tracks, but with them super late models, and we were standing down in the pits. Yeah, that was cold, Gil. I believe you. We were standing like in turn, where are we at? Turn 4? Yeah, we were turn 4. Turn 3 or 4. The mask was the best thing I ever wore. Standing there because I had a hoodie on, I had the mask on, and I kind of turned that way it was coming by. It was great. I could stand right there. I was good. Had safety glasses on. I ain't worried about dirt, none of that. No, it was great, but it was cold. It was cold that night. We was ready to freeze. And this is completely unrelated to track. But it all goes back to Ohio. God, me and Sterling a few years back had to go up to, where did we go? Cleveland, right outside of Cleveland. In January, I want to say it was. Had to take a part up there. And we left here knowing it was going to snow up there. It called for like 6 inches of snow that night.
Oh, wow.
The night we left. We were like, yeah, whatever. I mean, Sterling had a 3500 Chevrolet, and his 4-wheel drive, and we had a 3,000-pound shaft in the bed of the truck. So we was like, we ain't worried about getting stuck or nothing. We got plenty of weight, to help us out. Well, that is on one of them Great Lakes up there. Well, I found out that night what lake effect snow is. It was supposed to snow 6 inches. It ended up snowing, I think it was like 18 inches in one night, and then snowed like another 8 throughout the next day. Let's see. Robert says, in 22 in the stands was pretty cold, pretty chilly for the 400. Yes, it was. I agree with you there. Pits in 23 wasn't that bad, pretty sure. Be fine in truck. I hear you there, Robert, for sure. It's a lot warmer in the car. That's for sure. But yeah, we went up there, and it done all that. I have a video of it still somewhere. We went out to, we were waiting on the part. We had to stay there for a couple days. So we went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and it was on the lake up there, and the lake was frozen over. But it's not like solid sheet, like frozen over. There's waves that come in, so it was like up, frozen in waves.
Oh, wow.
It was insane. I've never been so cold before. It was -6.
Golly.
It was so cold. So cold. But I told somebody, I said, -6 don't really feel any different than 30.
30. Yeah, that's how I wondered.
It's just you get colder a lot faster.
Yeah.
Well, what was so funny is we decided to go ride go-karts at an indoor go-kart track. We were like, we found that. We're out there riding. Well, they had these heaters that went through the ceiling and stuff, and it was actually kind of hot in there. Well, I guess to combat that, the workers cracked open like a bay door.
And you drive by and it's cold.
And you ride by.
I've been to one like that. I wonder if it wasn't the same one. We were up there in Ohio doing that one time.
Very likely, because I would tell you what, you come around a corner and all of a sudden it's like it hits you in the face.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I've had that same experience.
It's something else, but no, it's all good. It's fun. I still say let's keep on racing around here in the Southeast. Let's keep on just racing through the winter.
You racing the
we'll
day
be good.
Usually be all right.
Racing the day will be fine. Let's take off them hot months, June, July, August. Let's just take them off. We'll be good to go. It's still hot enough in September. Still hot enough in May too. But no, we won't. We'll get back going then. Anyway, let's go ahead and let's thank our good friends over at MPM Marketing. MPM Marketing, marketwithmpm.com. If you are on the path to racing and you want to move up in this world, you need a good marketing partner to put your face in front of people it needs to be in front of. So head over to marketwithmpm.com and get with Tanya today, and she'll point you in the right direction. Also, Dixie Made right here in Florence, South Carolina. Ladies and gentlemen, head over to Dixie Made. They have got their layaway open right now for Christmas. What better way to find all the clothing gifts for your friends and family than head over to a place like Dixie Made. So and you can, hey, we know how things are anymore. You make payments over there on layaway.
Wow.
Might need it. Who knows? So y'all head over there right beside the Florence Flea Market. They got all the everything you can think of. So head over to Dixie Made. Also, Fresh Chef right up there in the Race City area of North Carolina, all around, multiple locations. Head over to Fresh Chef, daily food and drink specials. And they can, and you will not regret it for sure. Also, RevMax Racing Apparel, guys. If you need a suit for a multi-layer suit like we need in the race car, and or if you need just a single layer suit for karting, head over to RevMax. They'll hook you up. All right, so. There was some NASCAR action. First race of the round of 8.
Yep.
Yeah. And that was for the Xfinity and Cup Series. Was at Las Vegas this past weekend. I'll say maybe not completely, but I think we kind of had two somewhat quote-unquote unexpected winners, I guess. AJ Allmendinger brought home the Xfinity win, which locks him into the Final Four there in Phoenix. Wasn't really expecting an AJ win on a mile-and-a-half oval. We kind of expected him all year at road courses.
Yeah.
And so to see him on a oval, I like it. I like AJ.
Yeah, good
I
deal.
like AJ a lot. But that team just hadn't seemed to have the speed this year. I think I see a lot of moves they're making over this offseason. Looks like they're really trying to make a quote unquote comeback. I don't know if it's comeback when you got a guy in the Final Four.
Yeah.
But looks like they're trying to get back to right where they were anyway. So congratulations, AJ Allmendinger. Did you watch any of that one?
I didn't. I think I was watching football during that one.
There was a lot of football.
Yeah.
I can feel you there. Cup race. It was. I don't know. Was it a good race to you?
I think it was
as far as the
decent.
race.
Yeah.
Far as the racing itself, cars, racing around each other. Was it a good race to you?
I'll say it was decent. I wouldn't say it was
Do you think
spectacular? I think
uh,
it was okay.
and this is what I wondered. I heard people talking about, some people said it was a great race, but I'm like, if it wasn't for that last 30 laps, with Christopher Bell trying
if Christopher Bell would have just went ahead and won it, it wouldn't have been as.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
What would have been?
I think the middle part of the race was still okay. I think if Reddick wouldn't have wrecked, I think he'd have been able to challenge Bell, and it would have been a little more exciting. But I don't know. I think it was okay. I wouldn't say it really swayed me one way or the other.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, that's why I was kind of, I don't know. I just heard people talking about it, and I was like, I don't know if we would have said it was a great race if Bill would have just run off with it. I mean, I would have loved to see Bill win it, and it made it more exciting to watch. It gave us something to watch for the last 30 laps. Man, them Fords can stretch it on fuel.
That's crazy.
Logano
strikes again.
He does, and he is. They have figured out when there's a fuel mileage race getting anywhere close, it's like they know it ahead of time. I don't know how they do it. Paul Wolf figured it out. Figured out exactly how many laps they needed. Figured out how hard he needed to run it, and all he told him, he said, "Don't use brake." That's all he told him.
Yeah.
He said, "Just don't use the brake." He said, and that'll be basically what he was saying is, if you slow down enough to not have to use the brake at all,
should be able to make it. Yeah,
it should make it, and that's exactly what he did. They showed the in-car, showed the telemetry. He just was not using brake, and it worked. And especially once, and I'm gonna tell you what, them Team Penske cars, that's team there. That's teamwork there. Ryan Blaney lost points on the championship or getting into the final round by helping Joey Logano win. But Ryan Blaney down every straightaway was
get up behind him, draft with him. That way he could use less fuel even and just pushed him just enough. And then I think it wasn't talked about as much, but you watch the final corner, Joey goes low and he goes high, so there's nowhere for Bell to really go. Bell tries to dive it off in there, but because Blaney's up the high lane, he kind of loses the nose. Dude, it was so bad. There was a and I still blame this on the car. And I mean, I know it's kind of been a thing for years, but it just seems exaggerated in this car. I saw him coming up, and I can't remember who it was, but there was a lap car. And Bell gets behind him, and it took him 2 laps to get around that lap car once he got closer. And it's like, man, these cars. You got to have clean air. You got to have clean air with it. You got to. You can't just be faster than somebody. They can definitely just chop off your air, and you're done. They get tough, yeah. So, I don't know. But then I knew once he got to Blaney, I knew he wasn't going to necessarily get. It was exciting. I thought Bell was going to get him. I did too. Till about the last speed. 6 laps, 5 laps. I was like, I don't think he's going to be able to get there at this point. He couldn't. He had speed up till then, and then I think tires kind of equalized a little bit more. Well, that, and I think Joey kind of picked it up a little bit. Yeah. He was back to wide open those laps. So Christopher Bell was very frustrated. Yeah, I hate to see him lose it that way. Hate to see anybody lose it that way. Really, I mean, I do too. I know it makes it exciting, and it didn't back it. The one, it was a good strategy. So if you executed the race, but you just hated to see somebody lead so many laps and then what stinks looking back at it is it was Christopher Bell's teammate that caused the. I mean, he didn't necessarily cause it. I mean, but the timing of that caution for his teammate is what gave it away for somebody to be able to use strategy to do it. So you could either split it in half like they did essentially, or you could try to run it the whole time like Joey did. Yeah. So I don't know. Congratulations to Joey Logano, or somebody called him Slogano, and I was like, well, he was just slow enough to save enough fuel, apparently. But after being eliminated last week, that is crazy. in the championship race this week, dude went from eliminated to in championship race, and I guess it's that even year. Even your curse.
Look
Yeah.
for him, a curse for everybody else.
Yeah.
Look for him. Dude, it was that's insane. It's we talked about last week how we were still talking about how we thought Hendrick was going to appeal last week, weren't we? Or did we already see that they had?
Yeah, I think we'd already seen just before.
Maybe they had,
but
I don't know. Whatever. I heard where Alex Bowman was talking about it, how he was already at home, sitting by the pool. He said, or sitting somewhere by or he's close to the pool.
Yeah.
And
within throw distance
he
of
threw the phone into the pool, in which is an iPhone, so it was waterproof. But it somehow called 911 and said he had been in a crash. So then I think cops showed up to his house or something, and it was just a whole series of events, and something else happened. And he went to his car the next morning. He said, I guess he had a chip in his windshield, and because of the weather change, all of a sudden it cracked the whole windshield in his car. And
it's a rough couple of days. Huh?
Then he said the roof started leaking at home. Dude, you had a terrible week. You just need to start over. And the bad thing is he ran good this week.
Yeah.
I mean, he really did. He had a started third, I think it was. And
Man.
Stinks for him.
Mm-hmm.
Stinks for him for sure. So, anyway, Joey Logano takes the win after going from eliminated to now he's in the Final Four. So, it's one of them things for sure. All right, ladies and gentlemen, go check out our good friend Skylar Whitfield. Go to his website, skylarwhitfield.live. You see it there on the screen for sure. On the 21st, that is tonight. If you are anywhere around North Myrtle Beach this week, go check out our buddy Skylar Whitfield. Boardwalk Billy's tonight, North Myrtle Beach. On the 23rd, Molly Darcy's Irish Pub, also North Myrtle Beach. All these are North Myrtle Beach. The 24th, Flynn's Irish Tavern. 25th, The Knot, Windy Hill. All of them in North Myrtle Beach, like I said. So y'all go check out our good friend, Skylar Whitfield. And congratulations to him and his now fiance, Bethany. They got engaged. Actually, I think it was during the show last week. So
during his show?
No, during our show.
Oh, okay.
while we were on, I happened to look at Facebook afterwards and saw while they were out and got engaged. So congratulations to our buddy Skylar Whitfield. That's really cool. Congratulations to you and Bethany there for sure. But if y'all are in North Myrtle Beach, anywhere close, go check them out. Let's see here. Buddy Terry Radford says, let the countdown to the greatest 3 weeks in racing. Or let's count down to the greatest. That's right. The 400 there at Florence Motor Speedway, the Thanksgiving Classic at Southern National, and the Snowball Derby. I'm here at Five Flags.
Mm-hmm.
3 weeks.
Yeah.
Straight. That's a good 3 weeks.
Snowball Derby on Flow.
It is.
Is it on Flow this year?
It's on Flow
Good.
this year. We need the Thanksgiving Classic on Flow.
Is that still pay-per-view or whatever?
Yeah, I think so.
Usually buy it, but
I know. I know. But it needs to be on Flow. But yes, Snowball Derby, it was a big deal. Snowball Derby is on Flow Race this year.
That is good. That's some good news to hear.
That was a pretty big thing. Apparently, Racing America kind of scaled back. I know some announcers even left from there. Our buddy Alan Dietz is no longer an announcer for. So I don't know what he's got going on. We need to get him on here one week and talk about some racing and see what he's got going on, because he was a staple around this area for a long time. Still announcing down at Lakeview.
Yep.
So he was announcer for years at Myrtle Beach. So he was good. I like hearing Alan. So, but anyway, need to get him. I'm ready to hear him back on some broadcasts. So, Connor, I reckon there was some football this week.
Yeah.
Where can we start? I guess we'll start with Carolina. I was kind of Carolina. It was kind of a big game for us, considering I didn't realize that was the first time ever.
Yeah, that was
Carolina and the Sooners had faced each other ever. I didn't realize that. And what's really funny is I got a friend that he is a huge Carolina fan. He went to Carolina, but his brother and his dad were huge Oklahoma fans, and so they were always, he said he even kind of pulled for them because they never played each other, and he said this is the first time I'll ever actually have to pick between the two. So, but anyway, Carolina kind of took off there.
Yeah, I was at a church event helping out there, and finally caught a little break and went to look at the score, and it was like, 6 minutes in the first quarter, and it was 21-0. I was like, what in the world's going on? But the defense is stout.
Defense was stout. Defense was our best offense.
Yeah,
for sure. I told somebody after game, I said, I think our offensive player of the game is going to probably be a linebacker or something.
Yeah. Yeah, they had a lot of sacks and a lot of tackle for losses, and it was good because it kind of felt like, the season kind of hinged on that. If they would have lost that one, it felt like it had just been a lost cause at this point, but they still got hope. And hopefully they can win some more games.
One of my biggest takeaways from the game, and this kind of proved what I've said all year, we had 0 turnovers.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I think. Obviously the offense wasn't great, but I think second half it was pretty much just play to not lose. Don't do anything. Don't get intercepted or fumble. Just kind of let the clock run and let your defense hold them off. So I think that's kind of partially why. But yeah, we won the turnover battle for sure.
Yes, and which is where we have lost.
Yeah, where we
that and penalties, and we still had a few more than I would have liked, but not bad. No. Not near as bad. Not near as bad as what we have been the first of the season, especially like when we played LSU.
Yeah, it was
penalty. It was like we turned it over, then get a penalty. I was like, man. So we cleaned that up a lot. I think they worked on it a lot. So cool. Glad to see Carolina Gamecocks live to fight another one. Yeah. Who we got coming up next?
I think they got a bye week this week.
Yeah.
And then Texas A&M.
A&M.
Mm-hmm.
What you think about that?
I think they're all winnable games at this point.
Marty told to come give me a hug.
I actually told they come talk about football, but...
Why, you want to talk about football?
Oh, yeah, I'm great at talking about football.
Well, sit down and talk about football.
Talk about some football.
We got another microphone. Landon's going to join us and talk about football.
Brought in the expert.
Yeah, brought in the expert. Cheers, high. There you go.
Talking about college or?
Yeah, we're talking about college right now.
Oh.
Yeah, he's the NFL guy over here.
Oh, really?
He's got into fantasy football.
Yeah, I have, and it's disappointed me so far this year.
Mine has too. I actually won this week, but let's see. All right, after Carolina, A&M though. What'd you say about that? What'd you think about it?
I said, we got A&M, Missouri, Clemson. I think every game is winnable, but A&M's ranked. It's at home. Gonna be a night game for us, so anything can happen. It's all about.
Oh yeah,
it's all about which Carolina shows up.
We always play to whoever we're playing. So who knows? Let's see. I think probably the next big one was our buddy Terry Radford's team there, Tennessee at Alabama, or actually it was Alabama at Tennessee. Yeah. My bad.
Either way.
But, playing there at, was that Neyland Stadium, I think it's called. Pretty good game, but like I said earlier, there was a lot of flags in that game. A lot of penalties, and some very needless penalties that I really think hindered Alabama. And I think that's where they're losing a lot this year. I think they need some discipline back on that team.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where I think that's what they're missing in this coach that they got now. I don't know. What'd you think about that one?
Yeah, I watched the first half, and I had to go somewhere, but it was a pretty low scoring first half. Both quarterbacks kind of made some mistakes. They were there were some errant throws in the red zone, but I guess Tennessee came back and won. I thought Alabama would take care of it.
I knew that one. I thought that one would be close this year, but what was bad is Tennessee turned it over 3 times in the first half, and Alabama could not capitalize on it. So Tennessee's defense was pretty stout.
What's your NFL team?
I guess it'd be the Panthers.
Oh,
That hurts me. I used to kind of like the Broncos, but it's hard to pull for a team so far away.
Yeah,
everybody calls me a bandwagon because I'm a Chiefs fan.
Chiefs fan.
because you are a
Well, how long have you been a fan? If you started liking them when they were good, you might be a bandwagon.
He's liked them since they hadn't lost. So, so
I've been a fan of them a year before they started winning the
All
Super
right.
Bowl.
Good deal.
one more real quick was and it ended up not being as big a game as I thought, was Texas and Georgia.
The biggest story about that game was bullying the refs to change the call.
Yeah.
Or just stopping the game long enough for them to look at it.
Yeah,
That was
for
the-
sure.
People are not happy about that. Guess it didn't matter as much because they still lost, but
Yeah. I'll tell you one thing real quick, going back to Tennessee Alabama game, and it was called out on TV. This just falling down and faking injuries now has gotten ridiculous.
especially with like Ole Miss.
Yeah.
They were the worst.
They're
at it.
terrible for it. Which go figure out of Lane Kiffin.
Yeah.
But dude, there was one, and what it was, and they ended up getting a penalty for I forgot what it was. It was illegal substitution, I think, is what they finally called a penalty for, because they were trying to substitute and they didn't get their substitution right. So dude just falls down on the field, and they snapped it before they could blow the whistle. So they just called it illegal substitution, but they were trying their hardest to get the play to stop. And I'm just like, dude, this is. I think, and I told somebody, I think I told Sterling this the other week. I'm like, I know how they can make them stop. If you have to come out for an injury, you don't play for at least a quarter,
Yeah.
the whole quarter. I think if you start doing that, nah, they ain't doing that.
Yeah, they at least will get off the field.
I promise you. So they ain't gonna take out everybody like that.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, well, I reckon maybe Landon paid attention to it some more. So when these NFL games, what all games you pay attention to?
Paid attention to the Cardinal games, which I think
Who'd they play?
no one yet. I think they might be playing
They
tonight.
played tonight.
I got Kyler Murray. I need him to throw some passes. I gave Jay Gibbs away to Jaden, my friend. He's gonna give him back to me.
Kind of deals you got going on.
They kind of got a two for one team over there.
He said he needed him because Travis Etienne was injured, and he was my running back, Jay Gibbs, and he scored 32 points, which is a lot.
They just double teaming everybody over there.
Jaden's, I think, last in the NFL, and I'm tied for first. So he's helping me, and I'm trying to help him. But I also paid attention to Justin Jefferson, the Minnesota Vikings. He lost by a field goal to the Lions, but he still got 21 points. That's all I care about. They score above 20. That's all I care about.
We got a Chicken Bone Alley fantasy football league that it didn't seem to. I don't know if anybody really got in this year. I'm playing, and like one other person's really playing it, and everybody else just kind of sitting there. So we'll have to do another one. We did a college one last year, but Fan Tracks which we do the fantasy NASCAR on. They're the only ones really does a college one anymore. And it was so hard because there's like no projected points or anything on it. It's just like, who do you want? It's like,
That's tough. You don't.
I
There's
mean-
134 college teams. You know,
yeah, it's like you really got to just research.
Is
all
the
week.
receiver from Texas Community College going to score 40 points this week or something?
That's exactly how it was. So it was just like I don't know who to pick.
Yeah.
So
I didn't know they had fantasy NASCAR. I probably would have. If I joined that.
well, you can next year. 'Cause
Yeah, next
it's about
year.
done now. I have done. I told somebody today. I was like, all they need to do is just message me who they need to have a bad race, because
Yeah.
I'll pick them.
Yeah.
Because I think the big wreck that we didn't talk about really, where Tyler Reddick flipped and drove off.
Yeah.
I was really hoping they'd get that car back going. I was like, man,
That would've been cool.
Yeah, that would have been great.
Like
but
Dale Earnhardt at
exactly.
Talladega or wherever that was.
Yep. I think in 97. Yep. Those three in that wreck I had. I was
Yeah.
like, what kind of junk is
That's kind of look I had to have with that in a while.
I'll see you.
Landon said he's leaving.
Later.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, Lord.
But yeah, I need to look at it. But it's so hard. We've tried to do a NBA fantasy before at
That's
school.
tough.
Anything that's why I think NFL is the one because it's just MLB any of that stuff. The season's too long.
It's too long.
People
Too many
eventually just
games.
forget about it.
Yeah.
Not unintentionally. I just forget to set a lineup and then it just
Oh, yeah,
kind of
for sure.
snowball effect. So
Football is about the best to do
it's
it with.
just the easiest.
Yeah.
Keep.
And Yahoo had college football for one season, and it was great. It was set up just like the Yahoo fantasy, was easy, and something happened, and I guess it was so many players. I think it was kind of the same deal.
Probably tough.
It was tough for even their guys because, I mean, it was, somebody has to input all that stuff. So it was, I liked it, but I don't know. So anybody have any suggestions on it, let us know. We'll try something else next year. Who, as of right now, though, how you feeling about this 12-team playoff? And
I think it's good. I mean, you talk about like who's gonna get in, or
I'm just
or
saying,
just the general.
in general, with how the teams are playing this year.
Yeah,
I think the 12-team playoff is going to be a good thing. I personally do.
I think so too. I mean, I don't want it to go any bigger than 12. I mean, I know that's the danger, but I feel like, there's 130. We'll say, even if you just narrow it down to Power 5, there's a lot of good teams. It's just it was always weird to me how they only took 4 from so many teams playing.
Right.
So I think it'll be good, and I really like to see like the first round gonna be home. The higher seed gets a home playoff game. I think that'll just be really cool to see, and it'll be really interesting because there's a lot of teams that are 2 or 3 losses that are still really good.
Yeah. Me and somebody were talking about this Saturday on the way home from track. Me and Mike Hulon, we were talking about it. Man, I still will say, and I know they're talking about all this realignment stuff and all this junk, but I think there needs to be a real realignment of the conferences.
Do it by geographic.
Geographically.
It's just it's still surreal every time I see like this week was, or maybe it was last week, but it was like Cal at Pittsburgh conference game.
Yeah, ACC. It's like what? I think if you're an ACC team, you actually need to be on the Atlantic coast,
at least near it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, within a day driving distance of it. I mean, by God, SEC. We're, in my opinion, we're stretching it with Missouri and even Texas. In my opinion, and there's so many. But now who was it?
Yeah,
somebody's down to like 2 teams.
The Pac-12.
Pac-12. Yeah, it's down to like 2 teams.
And I saw somebody like on Instagram like a graphic of like conferences aligned by like geographic. Like the SEC was like all the teams in North Carolina, or maybe not maybe it was like South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, and all the Florida teams and stuff like that. And it was, it looked, everywhere it looked pretty good. But
I just feel like if you did that, and it would have its pros and cons, because I still think
some conferences wouldn't be very good.
Right. I think there'd be some conferences that'd be terrible. And what I would love, it would be conferences equalized enough. I don't know if that's ever going to happen, that you could say, okay, the playoffs are going to be the champion of each conference, and then go from there. But if you did that right now, you're shutting out half of the SEC that should be in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yes. I still don't like the fact that they're just seeded by vote
committee.
I
At
don't
least
like
with
that.
this, there's some of that, but there is some spots like
Yes.
all the Power 4 champions are in.
Yes.
The best Group of 5 team is in, and then I don't know how the rest. I think the rest are seeded, but yeah, that's always been tough. I mean, how do you differentiate between the number 12 ranked team and the number 13th ranked
That's
team?
right.
You
When
know,
they got the same record.
what is there to tell?
Yeah, I think there needs to be a list of stats to go off of. You know,
And I'm sure they
Obviously-
do, but it's just
you're right, but well, they do. But a lot of times you'll see, say, like around 10th, 11th, 12th, somewhere in there, you'll see teams that have a better win-loss record below a team that has a worse win-loss record, but it's who they lost against.
Mm-hmm.
And I get that, but at the same time, I'm just like, let's just take NASCAR, for example. It don't really matter who you lost to. You still lost to them. You're getting less points. You know, I don't know. I can see it both ways, but we could argue about that for days with people and still never come to a conclusion. All right, what else we got?
I don't know. Still no racing around here this week.
Nope, none at all.
So I don't know. I guess we'll just gear up to go to Dillon in a couple weeks.
That's right. Yep. I was trying to think. Anything going on? I want to give a shout out to my wife and my mom for sure. They did they did a thing at church with our through the roof ministry, which is our special needs ministry. They do a thing every around Halloween, obviously, but it was like a fall. It's not a fall festival, but they do a instead of doing a trunk or treat, they kind of do it inside the church. They do it. They decorate doors.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of or they'll give them a room if they want to do something in the room or whatever. So they did a thing there and had a decent turnout, and
Good deal.
so good for them. That was cool. So I think we got a trunk or treat actually coming up at church next week. Kayla says she wanted to do a Chicken Bone Alley thing, so I could be there. I said, we'll just do a podcast from there. Forget it. Nah. But anyway, so cool. Yep, I reckon that's about it. All right, everybody. We appreciate y'all hanging out with us. Appreciate all our supporters on here for sure. And couldn't do it without all y'all. But I reckon we will talk to y'all next time.
Later.
Alrighty, everybody. It's still on here. What y'all got going on this weekend? Watching this football? You got a race somewhere we don't know about? No, we got
some race somewhere to watch.
next weekend, as be the same weekend we're in Dillon, I believe. Yeah. If we wasn't in Dillon, Charlotte, the finals there, World Outlaw finals. I think they'll be in Charlotte.
How much they race there? I never hear about any races going
It's
on
like
there.
2 races a year there.
That's
It's
crazy.
like- well, a couple years ago, they ended up getting some more at dirt track. And I was out there like 3 times in 1 year. I was like, this is cool. I'm glad they're using it. Dirt was terrible on the track. And they
Was
kept
it?
trying different dirt. And it's just, I don't know. Just couldn't ever get good dirt on it. It was just so dusty. We were out there and we helped the promoter. Guy decided to promote a race out there. He kind of leased the whole facility and promoted a race and had a good turnout. And I went out there and did some media stuff with him, and it was good. But dude, it was a 2-day race and it was in July. It was so hot, for one thing. but I left there. Was staying with our buddy Randy King at his house up there. I got in the shower. I looked down and it just looked like mud in the shower. I mean, I was covered in dust. I mean, just so thick. Like, I had a brand new hat, and it was brand new no more. I mean, like, I had to get another hat because it was just, I couldn't even get all the dirt off of it. And I don't know, they keep bringing in dirt from different places, and it kind of never changes.
Huh.
The only time we went there a few years ago, and it had rained a good bit, and it didn't get dusty that night, and it was great. But if there ain't just a ton of water on that track, and I think the problem is they don't run it enough, so they don't turn over the dirt a lot throughout the year, and so when they turn the dirt over for that race, it's still just right up at the top, just sun-baked dirt that's been up at the top. I feel like you need to go down about 5 foot and turn it all up if you can. So I don't know. It's all good though. They may have the short track, whatever it's called, short track something there this weekend. They've been having it, but I haven't heard anything about it though. So who knows? But anyway, all right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I reckon we will catch y'all next week. Find something to talk about. Maybe have some people on here. We've had a few that won some championships this week I've reached out to, and they just had a lot going on, so we'll have them on here in the next few weeks. So I reckon we will talk to y'all a little later. Y'all have a good one.